Hi, in this brief video I just wanted to say that an Arab who claims to be a Palestinian, there's no such thing as Palestine, tried to murder Gahuda Glick. Now Gahuda Glick is a rabbi who fights for the Temple Mount. He wants the two mosques, the two illegal mosques, that of Omar and that of Al-Aqsa, to be demolished, and he wants the third temple back. And he wants to stop all that nonsense about the Jews and the Christians not being allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. Anyway, so he was attacked by an Arab. An Arab pretended to be, he said that he wanted to talk to him. And he just stepped up and he shot him 4 times in the chest. And, well, within 13 minutes, which was quite a miracle, Gahuda Glick was on the operations table and he survived actually, and he's back on the Temple Mount again. And they attacked the IDF, found out who the Arab was, God knows how. Well, anyway, in a matter of moments they found out who he was. They went to his house and he climbed on the rooftop, and he had a gun or a pistol or whatever it was. And there were other troops on the roof, and they shot him dead on the roof. And Gahuda Glick was on the operation table 30 minutes after he was attacked by this jihadi and this fanatic Muslim, and he survived. And he was close to death, you know. And he's still out there fighting for the rights to the temple. Gahuda Glick is good friends with another rabbi called Stephen Ben-Noon, and he was interviewed, and they are good friends with Pollard, who is a pastor from America, a right-wing pastor. I mean, a real Christian. A real Christian stands by the Zionist state of Israel and does not stand by the Muslim jihadis, be that the Shiites led by Iran and the Sunnis led by Saudi Arabia. Because you see, we've got all these commies who back Islamic groups, pretending that there's a state called Palestine. There's no such thing as Palestine, of course. So it was quite a miracle that Gahuda Glick was that survived. Well, another good thing is that Mr. Obama released Jonathan Pollard a couple of months back. Of course, he's still on probation. He can't do this and he can't do that, but at least he's not in the can. He's in his apartment in New York, and of course, Jonathan Pollard was arrested in 1985 during the Reagan administration for passing on secrets to Israel, state secrets, and he was released 30 years later by the Obama administration. And it will be another 5 years before Jonathan Pollard go back to Israel and do the Aliyah. Anyway, but it's a long story. Anyway, that's good news. So the good news is that Gahuda Glick is there, still doing his work. Jonathan Pollard is out there. Stephen Ben-Noon does his good stuff. Pollard does his good Christian service stuff. He's a real Christian, since he backs the Zionist state of Netanyahu and not the Arabs. There's no such thing as Palestine. The Arabs say that themselves. I mean, they say it themselves. I mean, when the Arabs who claim to be Palestinians talk about Palestine, they laugh at themselves. They're just playing the games of the wealthy Emirates, the guys with the petrol, you know. What else? Some communists, atheist communists who were bribed by the Saudis, the Qatarians, claimed that there's no connection to the Temple Mount and to the Jews in general. or Jerusalem. They have no claim to Jerusalem, or they have no claim to the Temple Mount. Okay, so where did, so if that is the case then, Mr. Communist, part of the UN, not the entire UN, part of the UN, then where did Christ preach? I mean, where did he overturn the tables? Where the money collectors were changing the shekel to the Roman currency. It was in the temple. Where did Solomon build his temple? Where did Hiram, the architect, build the temple? Where did King Herod the Great build the temple? When did King Cyrus give permission for the second temple to be built? Where did Julian, the Roman Emperor Julianus, why did he try to build a third temple along with his good friend the Rabbi Hillel in the 4th century AD? So of course all that's baloney, it's crap. There's no such thing as Palestine. The Arabs have no connection to the Temple Mount, and it's a shame really that the Alaska Mosque and the Omar Temple, the Omar Mosque, are on the site of the Temple of Solomon. And of course before that there were the Jebusites, who were a Canaanite tribe, who under the leader, that's 4,000 years ago, under the leader Melchizedek, Melik meaning king. They believed in the one true God. Melchizedek, 2000 BC, and when King David took the city 1,000 years later, in 1000 BC, 3,000 years ago, Jerusalem became Jerusalem, and they built the temple. His son actually built it, King Solomon. So the two-state solution and the all that's all crap. A bunch of commies got a lot of money from the Saudis. And they start saying crap in the UN and within the Clinton-Obama administration. That's about it. So all that crap must stop from the Obama Clinton administration. All that crap must stop from the UN, and the Palestinians must stop all these atrocities against the native Jews.